Are you a high achiever feeling like you need to do more or be more to feel valued? Then you're going to want to listen up to this episode. Today, I'm going to talk about how high achievers don't have to be more, have more. I'm going to talk about the why we're doing this, what causes us to do this, some examples of that, and hopefully encouraging you to stop it, drop this pressured way of being, and learn to just chill and relax and have a more enjoyable life. And you may think like, but my life is great and I don't feel this way. Well, as I go through, you're going to think about, is this really true for me? Maybe it is. Get real, be honest. Is this something you're struggling with, or maybe a friend of yours is, or a coworker, or someone on your team, or a client of yours? Because high achievers, man, you're awesome, and you don't have to keep packing things onto your schedule or into your calendar or feel that pressure anymore. So let's go through a little bit. The first one reason is that cultural conditioning, right? Society is doing this to us. It loves to like hype up those people who are always busy. Oh my gosh, you're always busy. You're always doing all these great things. You're winning awards. You're ticking off your goals. And it's like it becomes an Olympic sport of like, oh, amazing. You just performed really well. And I'm guilty. Guilty as charged. I've totally been there. And a lot of my external validation really boosted my confidence about getting the good grades on the report cards. And oh, you're everywhere doing all these things. Now, before, yes, I was everywhere doing all these things. And now I'm doing a lot of specific, selective things. And I'm having a team put a lot of it together. So it's a lot easier for me. But it's so easy because of cultural conditioning, or AKA, let's call it like Pinterest perfection pressure, right? Everything has to be perfect. I don't know how many times I don't take pictures of me in my house other than where I'm right now at my desk because my house is a mess. I don't always have everything put together, but it always has to look perfect or be perfect. And let's be honest, it's not. But it's so easy for us to be thinking that our value comes from doing all the things. All the things, right? For example, you feel like you have to turn your kid's birthday party into a Pinterest masterpiece with a balloon art, handmade snacks, like bespoke takeaway bags, grab bags, and every other part of our life kind of seems the same way. We have to dress this way, and we have to have everything we do kind of be at this level. And cultural conditioning, society is kind of screwing us over because we don't. How many times do you wish you could have invited a friend over for coffee, but you didn't because you didn't have the Pinterest perfect living room? Or how many times do you wish that you could have gone somewhere or done something, but you didn't feel like you had the right outfit to wear? Doesn't matter. It's more important about the people we're with and the experiences that we have. Let's look at the next one because this is like one of the biggest things that revs the high achiever, and that's perfectionism, right? You're setting these sky high standards for yourself, and anything less than I nailed it, 150% perfect feels like a fail. So you keep pushing harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. And you may think, I'm not a perfectionist. I just like high quality work. That's one thing. But when you are losing sleep, not having a balanced life, not spending time on hobbies and with people that you love and care about, then your perfectionism or your desire to have nailed everything is taking you to that extreme where it's not good for you. Now, this can also be called, aka the overachieving overload, right? So you're overloaded with this overachieving mindset of everything has to be done at this high level. I can remember being coached once about my perfectionism. I said, notice I said once, because there are many, many times. I remember this one time where I was seeing like one massive pillar. So right now, just imagine this one big, big pillar, and something was on top of that. And I was trying to get my project, my goal to be at that level. But the problem was because it took so much effort to get to that perfection, which really, let's be honest, high achievers, your really good is probably someone else's excellent. And so when you go for perfectionism, that's probably like 150% rather than 100% that's needed. No one's going to even notice anything above 80, probably being different than the original 80. So in this coaching session, there's all this one major pillar and it's so high in the clouds, and I couldn't quite get there to put my project up there. And then I noticed all of these lower pillars of all these unfinished projects. And all I needed to do is take them from like the 7 they were at and put them to the 8 that they needed to be. And then that idea of just that little bit of extra that would have taken them to be completed. Ah, it was so much better. Then I saw in my vision all these pillars with all these finished projects rather than this one like pedestal project that just would be too much. And so maybe this is showing up for you in the way of like you spend hours on a work email. You're tweaking every word, right? Like it's going into a museum or you're going to print it on your t-shirt while you're also juggling 10 other things, maybe letting other things slip through your fingers. And it really doesn't matter that much, but you're making it matter more. So perfectionism is one of the things that's pushing you to feel like you need to be more, have more. The third one is fear of failure or rejection. That you're terrified. If you stop being that like go-to person or you stop crushing it all the time, the people are going to think less of you, or worse, they're going to forget about you, right? You're going to be irrelevant. You're not going to be special anymore. But special in whose eyes, really? These other people? So I also call this AKA, what will they think? What will they think? And it turns into a spiral. What will they think if I sell my business? What will they think if I downsize my house? What will they think if I stop wearing a size 0 jeans? What will they think if I don't get Botox? What will they think if I don't go to Portugal on vacation and we just decide to go camping? What will they think? What will they think? What will they think if I don't win that award? What will they think? Who's the they? Who's the they? Probably the people you don't care about anyway, right? The people that you don't love, the people that you wouldn't want to hang out with. But that's really hard because once you get into that spiral of what will they think, it's really hard to get yourself out of it. For example, maybe you agree to run the pack at the school, or you're a charity. Maybe you agree to run a fundraiser for them. Even though your calendar is super busy, it's like busting at the seams because if I just show up on the day to help, or if I just donate money, that will seem like I'm a slacker. And what will they think? What will they think of me? They won't reject you. There are other ways that you can be involved, and sometimes a polite no, wish I could, is okay as well. We all have our own seasons. We're not meant to do everything at every time for everyone. The next one is a comparative mindset. So you're constantly like sizing yourself up against others. This often happens on social media as you're scrolling. You're like, oh, they have a more expensive car than me. They have a bigger house than me. Their husband makes more money than mine. They are wearing a more expensive dress or smaller dress than me. They look younger than me. They've achieved this thing. They've gone to this vacation. Like it on and on and on and on. Whether it is your friend, your coworker, your neighbors, other kind of people who are in the same industry as you, or someone's perfect Instagram feed who are getting paid to curate it to be that way, right? There will always be someone doing more and being more than you, at least on the outside, but you're probably comparing one part of your life to someone who's perfect in that area, and another part of your life to someone else who's killing it in that area, and one part of your life to someone who's 10 years ahead of you in their experience and their success. And it's going to drive you nuts, and you're never going to win. So we know the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We could be keeping up with the Joneses. You've heard that expression. And that's what it is. we're looking at someone else's stuff and we think, I need to have that, be that too. So seeing that other person's marathon medal doesn't mean you need to go and run a marathon or start training for a triathlon. You see someone else's spotless house, but what is behind the camera and how torn and broken are their relationships if that's the only thing they're focusing on. You see someone else's home cooked dinner, but did they pick it up at the store and then put it on their own cordingware? You can do that with lasagnas, right? And then you're wondering how you've already lost it at life today. I can remember when I was in the early days of running my business or the early years, I should say. I was a few years in. And so I felt like, why am I not achieving more? And my business advisor said to me, Diane, can you add up all the hours that you are like working on your business? And it was just the times that my kids were at daycare. And so it ended up being about 25 hours max. And she said, how do you feel that you can build an empire on part-time hours? True. And if you're like, but Diane, I'm working full-time hours and it's not happening. Well, what other pressures do you have and responsibilities? Do you have aging parents? Do you have young kids? Do you have pets? Right? The list can go on and on. Do you have your own health struggles? There are things that you don't know that other people aren't dealing with or are choosing not to put their energy and time on that really should have energy and time on. Right? I was comparing myself at the time to coaches who didn't have children. And it made me feel a little bit like I was a wild horse that was in a barn and I was like kicking at the gate to like, let me out, let me out, let me out. But what I would never have given up was the ability for me to spend these days with my kids. And I'm not shaming anyone who didn't have the privilege of being able to do that, but stop comparing your today to someone else's years of getting into that place, and don't compare your today to someone else's supportive environment to have that. Next one is validation seeking. Oh, we're all about the gold stars. I like me a gold star. I like me a check box. But, if no one notices how hard you're working and how much you're crushing it, it's like it doesn't even count. And so you're looking for others' approvals and others to validate you, where really you get to validate yourself. So, AKA, I call this the gold star syndrome, that we're always seeking that external approval. But what if we just got it from us instead? So maybe you organize your pantry by color, by size, and then you wait for your partner to notice, and all you get is like, yeah, that's cool, but where are the chips right now? Right? They don't care, but you've put a lot of time and energy into this. So switching that so it just can be for you rather than that external validation. And the last one is lack of self-acceptance. And this is really sad because while you may love yourself and be confident in yourself, because I know a lot of high achieving women are like that, deep down, maybe you feel like you have to earn love. And you earn that love and that respect by doing more, being better, achieving more, supporting others in a bigger way. While if you were to just like sit still and just be, that feels super weird. And you don't want to have that. You're like, no, I got to be busy. I can't watch a movie. I got to fold laundry at the same time, because just you watching a movie can't be an enjoyable activity. You have to be multitasking and doing all these things yourself. And when we have a lack of self-acceptance, I call this the mirror meltdown, because looking at yourself too hard, right? And if we think of this definitely as just even like the physical, your appearance, and not even everything else in your life, if you looked in the mirror and then you nitpicked every wrinkle, every flaw, every laugh line, and forgetting that you're basically the superhero for everything that you've accomplished, and in everyone else's lives, all the support and the amazingness that you are to them, you lose. because you keep feeling like you have to do more and be more to be able to accept yourself. So I'm curious, which of these 6 resonated with you the most? Which ones are you guilty of? Or which ones are you like, the next year, I'm going to focus on this one? I'll let you know that our Take a Stand for the And strategy sessions are extended right now. I'm seeing the value that it's giving people to be able to see where these hidden cycles are stopping them and to be able to take a stand for the end and have a clear strategy that they can put into place moving forward. So check the show notes to be able to grab one of those. There are only a few left, so because the deadline is this Friday, so make sure that you don't miss out and get your session today. Make sure you hit subscribe, share with a friend, and until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.